Well, hello everybody. It's Big Mike from Big Mike and Lola. We're going to do another product review. Happy New Year to everybody. It's been 2020 is finally in the rearview mirror, so let's all be happy about that. I'm still fighting COVID, getting over COVID, or whatever it is I'm doing. So if I seem a little short on breath, it's not just because I'm fat. Anyway, today we're going to be comparing the KastKing Rover series versus the Piscifun Chaos XS series. Now, I'm going to start off very simple. I don't do unboxings. We all know how to open a box and pull things out. As you can see, both of these reels have been used. The KastKing I've had probably about 4 months, and the Piscifun I've had 1, maybe 2 months. Now, it's a little bit of an unfair comparison because this is a size 60 Rover and a size 50 Chaos XS. One thing I'd like to start off with is the Chaos XS is different than the Chaos line. The Chaos line was replaced by the Chaos XS. The Chaos line from Piscifun was similar to the Rover in that it had the secondary spool tension knob here, and it also had this style of bait clicker. The Chaos XS has kind of a circular movement for the bait clicker, and it does not have a secondary spool tension knob. I am not sponsored by either one of these companies. I paid my money for both of these full retail, just like you would. One thing I'd like to mention on both companies, while they're both sold on Amazon, they each have their own website, KastKing.com and Piscifun.com. Piscifun, at least for the few months that I've been going to their website, they have a 15% off coupon for new subscribers. So you subscribe to their email list and you get a code for 15% off of your first order. Over the holidays, I've seen everything, from Black Friday through Christmas. I've seen everything from 15% off to 20% off of everything to 18% off of everything to 18% off of some things to 20% off of some things right now. It kind of comes and goes. You're always going to get the better value, in my opinion, and from what I've seen, from Piscifun's website. But it doesn't hurt to check Amazon as well. We all want to get a good deal when we can. You'll hear a lot of, well, it's normally this price, but I got it for this price. Those are going to be discounts that are available to the general public at the time that I got them. So when you hear discount from me, it does not mean it's a paid endorsement or anything, and I will never be in paid endorsement of any product. I'm not open to sponsorships, of course, but you're going to get my honest opinion. So the first thing, I'll go over a couple of things on overall about the two reels, and then I'll do each one individually. One of the things that bothers me about Piscifun, specifically, and to a lesser degree, the KastKings. So Piscifun tells us up here it's got 6 + 1 ball bearings. The gear ratio is 5.3 to 1. Now, while that may be nice to have on the box if I were going into a retail store and looking at it, well, I'm not, because these are not sold in retail stores, nor are the KastKings, to my knowledge. So, to me, this makes it look made in China. And I would venture to guess it is made in China, and as the same for the Rover. It's just the way that it's just right up there in front. Those things don't matter once you buy the reel. Now, they matter when you buy the reel and you're looking at the specs. You want to know these things. But, I could have gone without the big lettering here. I think it just adds a look of cheapness to the reel. Now, the KastKing, it has smaller letters. It says bait casting reel here. Gear ratio 5.3 to 1. Again, they're smaller. And then, ever so somewhat, but mostly useless, it shows the line diameters. However, they end down here, so you're actually turning your rod over to find these things. The capacity, I should say. And, yeah. Again, it's nice to have on the box or in the documentation. Both are spooled with 30 or 40 pound mono. Now, this is my second take on this video, so previously I had both of them unspooled. On the Piscifun, before I took the line off, it was actually all the way to the top edge of the spool, basically a little overfull because I leave room for loading it on the pulling it through the eyes and coming back down and taking off a donor piece for the leader and that kind of stuff. I took that line, I put it back directly onto the KastKing, and there is a few millimeters showing of the spool, not a big deal. And as you'll find as we go through this video, the size 50 in the Piscifun and the size 60 in the Rover are kind of similar in line capacities. It's not direct, but it's close. So the KastKing will hold maybe 20 more yards, guessing, over the Piscifun of the same diameter line, because their documentation doesn't talk about the same diameter line. Another thing is, if you go and look on KastKing's site or on Amazon, the foot on the Rover 60 will show to be a single foot like is on the Piscifun, where you have just the two rivets and then it's not as wide of a center section on the foot. But this is a Rover 60 and this is how it came. So it's got 4 rivets. Now I do believe that the 40 and the 50 size in the KastKing Rover do in fact have the smaller foot, similar to the Piscifun Chaos XS 50. Okay, there's a lot of information I can go over here, and please forgive my notes. The big thing is they both have shielded stainless steel ball bearings. Piscifun says they're anti-corrosion. I figure they are on the KastKing as well. Both are rated for both fresh and salt water. One of the differences I see in going through the diagram included with the reels, the Rover appears to have 2 carbon fiber and 2 stainless steel drag washers, whereas the Piscifun has 4 carbon fiber and 3 stainless steel washers in their drag system. Okay. Some other things that we want to talk about here. The 40 through the 60 in the KastKing Rover is going to have this paddle style handle. Now it calls these EVA foam, and I'm sure they are. They have no give in them. They're very firm. When I think foam, I think of very soft, and they're very firm. They feel good. Don't misunderstand me. Now on the Piscifun, in the 40 and the 40 size is going to have a paddle handle, similar but different, of course. The size 50 and 60 are going to have the power handle as opposed to a paddle handle. On the 40 and 50, they have this extra piece here, this plastic piece that you can tilt up, and it clips on so you can pull it off as well if you'd like, so that it would look more like the top of the Rover. The size 60 in the Chaos XS does not have this piece. Also, it appears, from what I can see on KastKing and Amazon, that the S-shaped thumb bar is throughout the entire product line on the Rover, whereas on the Piscifun, the 40 and 50 have the thumb bar, the S-shaped thumb bar, but the 60 has a, I'm guessing, stainless or aluminum button, push button, just a little button, similar to what your Abu Garcias typically have. I actually have a couple of Abu 5600 S's from a long time ago that have the S-bar. I prefer the S-bar, but when you get when the reel gets too wide, it's not as effective as the little push button. Another thing to note, I'm left-handed. I cast with my left hand, reel with my right hand, both spinning and casting. So having the button on the right side on the rear doesn't, it's not ergonomic for the way I fish. However, most of you right-handed people hold it, they push the button, and then they transfer it to the left-hand to cast. No. Sorry, they push the button with the right hand, they transfer it to the right hand to cast, then they transfer it back to the left hand to reel it in. I don't switch hands at all. It's push the button, throw, come back, reel. One of the joys of being a lefty raised in a right-handed world. The other thing that's odd on that to me is the S-shaped bar. I like it as a lefty because I'm pushing it here. Maybe as a right-handed person, your thumb just naturally comes over. I don't know, because, again, that's not how I cast. I like the ergonomics either way on the S-bar much more than the little push button. If I didn't mention it already, the 60 is going to come with the wider foot, similar to how the Rover 60 is. From what I understand, on the Piscifuns, the diameter of the unit doesn't change. The width changes. So your 40 is going to be a little narrower and your 60 is going to be a little wider. Just a point in there, whereas I believe that in the Rovers, some of them may be shorter and wider, but then they also get bigger. So the Piscifun comes, the Piscifun Chaos XS, comes in a 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 series, or 40, 50, 60, whereas the KastKing Rover starts at a 40 size. They have a 50, a 60, a 70, 80, and 90. In these sizes, all of the Piscifuns have 6+1 ball bearings, 6 normal stainless steel shielded ball bearings, plus 1 anti-reverse bearing. And the same holds true, again, with the Rover in the 40, 50, and 60. The 70 through 90 have 4+1 ball bearings. And the 70 through 90 have the power style handle versus the paddle style handle. The KastKing is a one-piece forged aluminum frame. The KastKing is an aluminum frame as well. However, they have inner side plates and outer side plates, whereas I think they're put together a little differently. Another thing to note on the two is when you look at the back, I'm sorry, not the back, the front, the level wind. You have one bar here for the level wind on the KastKing, and on the Piscifun they have two, a larger normal one and a smaller one, and that may help with stability, may help with the rigidity of the frame. I don't know, I'm not the engineer behind these. And the KastKings all have this style of clicker where you slide it down and then slide it out to make it not click. Whereas with the Chaos XS, you slide it in to engage, you slide it out to disengage. Both of them have audible clickers. I'm sorry, you push it in to engage, out to disengage. It's got a decent amount of sound to it. And the Rover does have a louder clicker. Okay, so I kind of did a little comparison and contrasting. They obviously have different clicker mechanics in here. Both have brass gears. The Piscifun has a plastic gear on both on the spool on the clicker side and the clicker itself, whereas the KastKing Rover has on the spool they have, I want to say it's brass, and then they've got a plastic gear for the reducer, whereas this is a one-piece plastic that's reduces down, and then there's a metallic gear, I won't call it brass, that works the clicker. The clicker is not going to be a big wear item in most cases. The plastic/nylon gears, they have a place. One of them is in cost savings, and the other one is they have their own kind of built-in lubricity that you don't get out of metal gears. That I'm never going to tell you to go get a reel that has a plastic, nylon, whatever you want to call it. main gear, because your main gear is going to take a lot of abuse. And these are both used for catfishing for me. I think they're going to have too much line capacity for, running around with 15, 20-pound line, chasing bass and those kind of things. They work well for saltwater, of course, because you need more line as you get deeper. Or maybe if you're fishing some considerably deeper reservoirs than what I have around Memphis. Now, as far as pricing, the 4000 series on the KastKing. So this is the KastKing side, this is the Piscifun side. So the 4000 series, 40 series is going to be $49.99 current price versus $52.99. I'm going to say current price, that's regular price. There's no discounts on these. Like I said, there are discounts available sometimes on their websites, but I'm going by the MSRP, whatever you want to call it. The size 50 goes from $53.99 over to $55.99. So you got a $3 difference on the 40, $2 at the 50, and then $1 at the 60, where you're going to see the Piscifun at $57.99 on the 60 series and $58.99 on the Piscifun. The Piscifun does advertise that they have Japanese Hamai cut brass main gear. That appears, from my research, to be a company that makes the machinery that does the cutting, and I don't see anything about that in KastKing, but I did see on one of their more expensive low-profile bass reels that they actually also have Hamai cut gears. So on that level, so you may have a little bit of a better main gear cut mesh type system. Whether you'll notice it or not is a whole other issue. Both are stainless steel for some of the shafts and aluminum for the bodies. KastKing says that they have a hard anodized outer plate here. The hard anodization essentially makes the aluminum harder. Piscifun doesn't list one way or the other on that. So that's kind of the stats on them. Now, on the 5000 series, 50 series, you're going to get 20 pounds of drag, whereas on the 50, on the Rover, you'll have 18. The 60 is 20 pounds of drag. If you've ever actually put 20 pounds of pressure on a fishing rod, yeah, it doesn't matter. Once you get past a certain point, it just doesn't matter unless you go into significantly larger fish, because the rod's not going to put up with it. The weight on the 60 is 12.6 ounces. The 50 would be 12. And on the Piscifun, it lists on their site as being 12.0 ounces. Amazon says 12.3. You get a 24.8 inch retrieve and a 25.9 inches per turn of the handle on the KastKing. As far as line capacity on the 50 series, they say it'll hold 15 pounds on 15-pound line. It will hold 250 yards. If you go up to the 60, it goes to 305 yards, so another 55 yards of 15-pound. Unfortunately, apples to apples is difficult on the 50 series and the 60 series. So the 60 series is what this one is. It holds 250 yards of 16-pound line, whereas on their 50, it's going to be 200 yards of 16-pound line. So a little bit, and both of those are mono, by the way. So 16-pound is a little bit bigger diameter, but like I said, when you get into this, I want to say this is 30, yeah, it's 30-pound line. You might get 20 more yards, maybe, difference in capacity from what I've experienced. So we'll get all that out of the way. Now, one thing that I do like, I did, again, order both of these off of Amazon. So when the KastKing arrived, and I can't say whether Amazon did this or if this is how KastKing sent it, but this was it was just really nice to see. It showed me that they cared about how this was packaged, fit in there like a glove, and it's a very nice, thick, bubble wrap type package. Does it matter? I don't know. Now, I do believe that on the KastKing, the tool that you can use to take off the retaining screw here so that you can take the handle off, you know, the wrench that fits the nut there. I do believe that I've lost it somewhere. It probably did come in the box. I can't guarantee that, but it's my guess. It does come with schematics. Now, it shows the Rover 40 through 60, then the Rover 70, and then the 80 and 90. Originally, I read that to mean that they all had the same main body, and that's not the case. But they're all put together. That series is put together the same way. And again, this shows a single foot guide, or a single foot mount. But it does have the 4 rivets in it instead of the 2. So there's that. It came, if I put everything away right when I got it, came in just a normal plastic bag. Comes with a KastKing sticker and some line stickers, which it has 5 of them. The first one is absolutely useless because it tells it's already filled in to be braid, 20 pounds, and says that the date's 2019, and well, that's gone now. So who cares, right? Not that big of a deal. Nice to have the little extras there. Put that out of the way. And then we'll go into the Piscifun box here. Now the Piscifun box, this is how it came in the package from Amazon. I got a little dent here in the box. I got a little, like little crushed corner. I had nothing, you know, there's no damage to the wheel. Just how it was. It does have some slender bubble wrap that the reel came wrapped in. And here's the tool I was talking about that I think that the KastKing came with. However, the KastKing nut is a different size than the Piscifun nut, so the same tool doesn't fit. And I believe the only other thing that came in that package was, you know, the schematics. But it also has some nice instructions here, you know, how to set the star drag, how to do the magnetic brake, how to this, how to that. You know, how to load line and that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's got some reading if you want it. So again, that's the box on both of these. Get those off the table and out of our way. Okay. Well, I think the Rover gets top billing in the video, so I'll do it. We'll go with the Rover first. So, like I said, I've had the Rover a little longer, and I feel that the Piscifun is actually a little smoother on the cast and on the retrieve. I haven't put them side by side for distance, but that's just how I feel. There's a difference in the star drag. The star drag on the Rover, when you turn it, it doesn't make a noise. Doesn't have to. And as you tighten the drag, it does get significantly harder to turn the star drag. The difference on the Piscifun Chaos XS, it clicks. It does also get harder to turn as you tighten the drag more. But sorry, that's my bait clicker going off. But it does have nice little clicks there. So I don't know if that matters to you. It's a feature. Whether it's an important one is a whole other issue. With the Rover, you have your primary spool tension knob is actually over here on the left. Out of the way, well, out exposed, so it's easy to mess with. You can get, or with my large fingers, it takes a little, sometimes to get in here, you may have to move the handle and may need to move the drag a little bit so you can get to it. But this one typically is more for centering the spools, I understand, and then the one on the left is actually the one you're going to be mainly using for spool tension. Both have level wind systems that move whether casting or retrieving, which I think is pretty much standard there as well. Like I say, the mechanics on the left-hand side of the reel are different between them because of the bait clicker. The differences in the bait clicker. Takedown is these 3 screws on both of them, and then 3 screws on the other side plate if you want to take it off as well. I'm not going to be able to show you anything really exciting there. One thing though to mention is that the KastKing Rover has a 2-pin centrifugal braking system, whereas The Piscifun has a 6-pin. A little more granularity there, whether that matters to you. Again, it's a feature. You can get more granularity with the Piscifun than you can get with the Rover. Now, going over to the Piscifun, I like the power handle. It's got a nice big grip on it. Whether you need that much grip is a whole other issue, but it has it. And once you come out too far on the drag here, it feels like there's a little bit of a concaveness to the power handle. I won't say that it's been bent, but maybe that's just how it is, how it's designed. But then as you tighten it up, you'd have to go really loose for it to even rub against the handle anyway. And you've got the spring washer there anyway. So between these two that are close to the same size, there are good points to both. So I like the power handle. A lot of people are going to upgrade to a power handle a lot of people prefer a power handle and therefore will upgrade to it. So that's going to be $10, $15 in upgrades just right off of the bat, unless you get up to the size 70, but then you go from 6 to +1 ball bearings down to 4 + 1. The 4-pin reel mount, that's a big plus on the KastKing Rover. I like having the secondary adjustment knob out here in the open. I like the style of clicker on the Rover better. It's a metal knob versus a plastic slide switch. Does it, is one going to give you better longevity than the other? I don't know. It feels like extra security on both of those parts, plus having the extra knob over here, which I'm not used to because I typically use low profile bait casters for everything but catfish. So it's not something I'm used to, but I was like, well, that's just kind of a nice little feature. As far as the color, I like the color of the Chaos better, but let's face it, they're reels. I'm not one of those people that needs to match my rod to my reel. I do need my bright green line or bright yellow line because I'm old and I can't see. Matter of fact, let's take these off. I hate my glasses. Managed to get through about 35 years of my life before I needed glasses. So the other thing is we have this balance weight here on the Piscifun, which really makes it's nice and smooth. That the noise you're hearing is actually my line just hitting the parts as it goes around. So that's not a noise within the reel. And again, the KastKing Rover is fairly smooth. Because both of these are made overseas, whether you can get replacement parts for them is questionable. Piscifun says that you can get replacement parts because they are in constant communication with the factories, which I believe. But now whether you could get parts for the original Chaos, I don't know because they're out of production, right? They may have a whole stockpile of parts. I don't know. But we're talking about $50 to $60 reels. These are not ones that you're going to spend a lot of money repairing. I took one of my Corrados down to the local bait shop to have it cleaned and lubed, and it was $10 or $12. On a $150, $200 reel, that's not an issue. You also, on a $150, $200 reel, you want to replace parts as they wear out. On a $50, $60 reel, it may just be one of those where if something goes wrong and you contact the manufacturer, if the part's too expensive or the shipping's too expensive, you may just say, well, get me a new one, and now I've got one for spare parts. Having said all of that, so, we come for, not just a comparison of the two products, but which one would I choose? And by the way, I was really excited to do this review, comparison, whatever you want to call it, because I could find the Chaos versus the Chaos XS. I could find the Chaos versus the Rover, but I couldn't find the Chaos XS versus the Rover side by side. And I really wanted to see that. So I think this will be the first video putting them side by side on YouTube. And I think it was something that was sorely missing. In the $50 round bait caster reel for catfishing that's going to be saltwater rated. I think these are probably the two best options out on the market right now. There is, the Slime Cat makes a reel, but I believe it's going to be in the $80, $90 range. I haven't touched one of them. I can't imagine that Slime Cat is doing anything other than what these guys are doing, speccing out a reel, if not taking something very similar to what exists, maybe changing a part here and there and giving it a different paint scheme. I don't know. I've not compared, I've not held one of them. I haven't opened them up. I'm not going to say definitively that I know, but the Slime Cat reel is going to be a little more. And I don't know that there's the extra value. And I don't know. That's, I'll be honest, I simply do not know the answer to that. And there's a Ming Sun Ming Mingling, I don't know. That's also maybe a little more expensive, I think, than these, like, you know, in the 60 to 65 range. I have not seen good reviews on them. So if you're going to be in this price range, I think these are your two contenders. My next reel, my next two reels, as a matter of fact, I have one KastKing and I have two of the Piscifun 50s. My next two reels are going to be the Piscifun Chaos XS 60 series. One thing also to note on both of these brands. On KastKing, I've noticed it a lot, and that is Amazon will have the product, but it's not available on KastKing's site. It'll be sold out. I've also seen products that are not even listed on KastKing's site anymore that are still on Amazon. So I think that, this is a guess, I believe that KastKing puts more of their inventory into the fulfillment pipeline on Amazon than handling it direct to consumer. Although it's the KastKing store on Amazon. Piscifun is similar. The size 60 reel right now, there are some of them. There's like maybe 8 available on Amazon. They're out of stock on Piscifun's own site though, on the size 60. Now, you know, that could just mean that Piscifun sold through their allotment internally faster than Amazon, because like I say, Piscifun always has that 15% off coupon for new subscribers, or new people who sign up to their email list, I should say. So for my dollars, it's going to be the Piscifun Chaos XS 60. I could stay with the 50. I think there's enough line capacity on it. However, I really do want the 4 rivet foot. It probably will never matter, but I like having that option. I also think that there is better longevity with the push button type system, even though it's not my preferred. I like the feel of these better, but when you take these apart, put them back together, there's a pin that you have to line up to get onto the thumb bar, so that it's a little more difficult to put back together. I do like the 6-pin centrifugal brake. It just gives you more options. And sometimes 2 pins isn't enough, especially if you're throwing something heavy, which a lot of times you're going to be doing in catfishing, especially, you know, in a river system. I think that I would get more professional overruns on the KastKing just based upon that. So there you have it, folks. Like I said, this channel, we're going to be doing a lot of fishing videos. We're going to do some reviews. And unfortunately, or fortunately, take your pick. I kind of like reviews because I like being able to, you know, somebody that's touched the products, having them right, you know, where I could see them and getting their opinion and looking at different pieces. And I have taken both of these apart. I just didn't see any reason to go through that on camera, because the end, it all looks pretty much the same. You know, it's parts. like I said, under this left side, there's a considerable difference in the way that things are done. There's actually a metal triangular piece that I don't know if that's for extra rigidity, but it also holds the clicker gear in there. So again, for my money, I'm going with the Piscifun. Nothing against the Rover. I just think that there's better value, and I like the power handle over the paddle style handle for going catfishing. Lola is my 3.5-year-old black lab. She's a rescue. I'm hoping to have her out on the boat in some future videos. And it's really important as I start the channel, and it'll be important even as the channel grows, to get subscribers, to get views, to get likes, because it helps with the algorithm to actually promote my videos within YouTube. So please do subscribe. Please like the video, and if you can share it with your friends, that would be super awesome. Even if it's to go, hey, let's watch this weird guy talk about stuff. You're not going to hear only positive things on this channel. There's a review that I'm going to do on a product from Piscifun, actually, that I will be returning because I was really excited to get it. It's the spooling system, line spooler that, you know, it twists and everything when you're doing the spinning reels to try to keep the line, you know, the line twist down. I'm just not a fan, and it'll be coming out here in the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. So I'm not brand loyal specifically. I think that both of these companies make some good products. I also think that they've had some misses, and that's going to happen. I like KastKing has a couple of, they had some catfish rods that I really like. They're not available anymore, but I really like them. Also got them for half price. Told you, I really like getting discounts. But again, that was a sale that was available to anybody. This is the only product from Piscifun that I've gotten other than that line spooling station. So I'm 50-50 on them. I think KastKing, I have their net, their landing net, and it came apart in the center. It's one of the collapsible or expandable or telescopic, and I probably screwed it a little too much, and it came apart, and I was able to figure out how to put it back together, throw a little glue in there so that it doesn't happen again. But I think that was a QC issue from the factory. Now I'm rambling, so I'll leave everybody with that. Again, please like, subscribe, share our video, and leave a comment below if you've used either of these, if you've had any issues with them or what you like about them, or if you think there's another reel in this price point that's going to hold this kind of a line, this amount of line, and, you know, have similar capacity, similar pricing, that you want to see a review on, or that you think is a better product. I am all ears. I certainly don't know everything, and as I've got, my kind of joke is at 16 I knew everything about everything, and every year I've gotten dumber since. The more I've aged, the more I've learned I don't know. Things that I didn't know. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful new year. I'll see you guys out on the water. Thank you.